The brar is failing. The coverage is full of holes, communication is poor, and the opponent has a free pass to throw comfortably. It's time to take a risk. Blitzing isn't just about the sack. It's about confusing, speeding up the quarterback, forcing mistakes. And with the Bears' defense the way it is, what else do they have to lose? Jared Goff was just named Offensive Player of the Week. Before him, their Week 1 opponent was too. In other words, the quarterbacks are strolling against this defense. It's time to change this dynamic, even if it means chaos. And if we're talking about change, the rookies need to step up too. Luther Burden and Colston Loveland, two players selected in the top 40 in the last draft, are practically invisible. Between the two of them, they have just 4 receptions and 14 yards in 2 games. And okay, they're rookies. But if you spend a first-round pick on a tight end like Loveland, he needs to be involved in the offense. The idea that the tight ends were blocking more makes sense depending on the opponent, but it doesn't. You could spend a top 10 pick and not use the player offensively. What good is talent if it's being ignored? Luther Burden, on the other hand, still has to compete with other players, but he also deserves more chances. He's already shown quality. If Zay Flowers had limited snaps at first and then exploded, why not do the same with Burden? He can help on offense, return punts, spread the field, create explosive plays. And if the argument is that he's not ready for the full package, fine, then create specific packages for him. What's not right is to just let him watch from a bench. The same goes for Shamar Turner. The rookie defensive lineman hasn't even been activated on the roster. And the question is simple. What are players like Chris Williams doing that's so special to keep that spot? Turner missed practice time with an ankle injury, yes, but he's already healthy. He's on the main roster. And even though he's not yet at his physical peak, it's a rotational position. To put the kid on the field for 10, 15 snaps and see what happens. He doesn't need to be a starter or play 40 plays. But how do you know if he can help if he's not even tested? This insistence on the same players who aren't producing only slows the team's development. If you're going to bet on someone, why not bet on someone with the potential to become a starter in the future? Of course, the coaches have more information. They're with the players every day. But from the outside, the feeling is that some decisions are being made more out of stubbornness than analysis. There are already 2 games without a win, with clear execution flaws and little dynamism when it comes to reacting. If Ben Johnson wants to prove he's the right man to lead this project, he'll need to show he can adapt. And that starts with courage. Courage to change players, try different schemes, and, above all, put the best players on the field, regardless of name or experience. If the offense has issues in the backfield, the problems along the offensive line are just as pressing, and they might even be more damaging. The left tackle position, which is supposed to protect Caleb Williams' blind side, has become a liability. Braxton Jones entered the season with questions about whether he could handle elite pass rushers, and so far those questions have only gotten louder. In just 2 games, he has surrendered 13 pressures and allowed 2 sacks, numbers that would be concerning even across a full month of play. Against the Lions, Aiden Hutchinson turned him inside out as the game wore on, winning repeatedly in one-on-one situations that the Bears system requires their tackles to survive. The problem is not just in pass protection. If Jones were at least dominating in the run game, there would be an argument to live with the occasional pressure. Instead, his blocking in the ground attack has been below average as well. That leaves the Bears with a starter who is failing in both phases, and at that point the patience begins to run out. Theo Benedict, the rookie who showed promise in training camp and preseason, deserves an opportunity. When he stepped in for the final snaps against Detroit, he held up reasonably well. It is a small sample size, but when the current starter is faltering, the unknown becomes more appealing than continuing to watch the same breakdowns week after week. No one is expecting Benedict to be an instant star, but he can be tested now so the coaching staff can evaluate if they're the long-term solution waiting on the roster. On the defensive side, the lack of pass rush has turned into a crisis. Throughout the offseason, it was a glaring concern that this team did not have proven edge rushers who could create consistent pressure with just 4 down linemen. The assumption was that new coordinator Dennis Allen would compensate with creativity and an increased blitz rate. Yet through 2 games, The Bears are sending extra rushers on less than 8% of snaps, the lowest mark in the entire league. That is an astonishingly passive approach for a unit that is already undermanned. By contrast, even the most conservative teams are sending pressure nearly twice as often. The results are predictable. With little disruption up front, opposing quarterbacks are sitting comfortably in the pocket, scanning the field, and torching a secondary that is not at full strength. Injuries have already stripped away 2 starting corners. The safeties have been inconsistent, and the linebacking core is missing T.J. Edwards. The so-called bend but don't break philosophy is collapsing because without pressure, breakdowns in coverage become inevitable. In back-to-back weeks, the quarterback facing Chicago has been named Offensive Player of the Week in the conference. That is not coincidence. It is the product of a defense that refuses to dictate terms. If the Bears are going to be burned regardless, they might as well take risks, send bodies, and at least give themselves a chance to force turnovers or mistakes. Playing safe has already led to humiliation. While the coaching staff searches for answers schematically, they also need to turn to the youth on this roster. The Bears invested significant draft capital in Colston Loveland and Luther Burden, selecting them with expectations that they would become difference-makers quickly. Yet through 2 weeks, their production is almost non-existent. Loveland has only 2 catches for 12 yards, and Burden sits with the exact same stat line. Combined, for receptions and 14 yards is nowhere near acceptable for players taken in the top 40 of the draft. If Loveland was drafted 10th overall as a tight end, then his talent should be a featured part of the game plan, not an afterthought. Using him primarily as a blocker may suit the opponent's defensive scheme in small doses, but ignoring his pass-catching ability is wasting the investment. The quarterback needs reliable middle-of-the-field targets, and Loveland has the skill set to be that safety valve. The Bears must start dialing up plays specifically for him. Burden is in a slightly different situation as the 4th wide receiver, but he should not be hidden behind veterans indefinitely. He flashed explosiveness during preseason and has the kind of big play potential that could alter drives. Giving him more snaps in place of Olamide Zacco's, or at least incorporating design packages for him, would inject fresh energy into the offense. Burden can also contribute on special teams as a returner, creating additional opportunities to impact the game. If the argument is that he is not yet ready for a full workload, then fine, give him a partial one, but make it meaningful. Talented rookies cannot develop on the sideline. The same principle applies to Shamar Turner, the defensive lineman who is yet to be active on game days. He lost time in camp with a high ankle sprain, but he is healthy now and part of the 53-man roster. Keeping him inactive while players like Chris Williams log snaps without distinction makes little sense. This is a rotational position where fresh legs are valuable. Giving Turner 10 to 15 snaps a game is not a gamble. It is an evaluation process. At worst, he performs at the same level as the depth pieces currently in place. At best, he shows flashes that hint at a future starter. The Bears cannot know until they try, and right now, they're choosing not to find out. That hesitation is a disservice to both the player and the team's long-term development. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are swirling around the league, and fans might want to buckle up. The rumor mill has been unstoppable since early this morning, and though the official announcement just dropped, the buzz has already taken on a life of its own. Malachi Corley is reportedly the latest addition to the Bears roster. Sources close to the team hint that the signing could signal a bold shift in strategy, one that might reshape the Bears' approach on both sides of the ball. Corley, known for his dynamic playmaking and unpredictable style, has long been on the radar of multiple franchises, but speculation about his next destination had reached a fever pitch in recent weeks. Insiders suggest that the Bears' management has been quietly negotiating behind the scenes, aiming to secure a player who could inject both energy and versatility into a squad that has been searching for a spark. Fans are already flooding social media, dissecting what this acquisition could mean. Some argue that Corley's speed and agility will open up new offensive options, while others are fixated on how his presence might alter defensive schemes, potentially creating mismatches that could tilt the balance in the Bears' favor. There's even talk among analysts that this could be the start of a series of shrewd moves by the front office, signaling that the Bears are ready to shake up their lineup and make a statement in the coming season. Yet, despite the excitement, a sense of cautious optimism lingers. Corley's transition into a new system won't be instantaneous, and questions about how quickly he can adapt continue to fuel debate. Still, one thing is certain. Wherever Malachi Corley goes, attention follows, and the Bears just became the center of the league's chatter. Rumors of future trades and tactical shifts now hang in the air, leaving fans and rivals alike eager to see how this latest acquisition will play out on the field. With the season looming, the Bears' locker room is reportedly buzzing with anticipation, and the league can't help but watch closely. Could Corley be the missing piece the Bears needed? Or is this just another chapter in the ever-turning saga of NFL speculation? Only time will tell, but for now, the rumor has legs, and the Bears faithful are ready for every twist and turn. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.